Welcome back, Steve Carl, to the program. Titan FC 38. Belal Muhammad is his opponent. Muhammad's 8-0. Carl, obviously, 22-4, for those of you who aren't sure at home. How big is this fight battling a guy that's undefeated? Like, does it add anything to the fact when you wake up every morning? You wake up pretty hungry every morning anyway. Like, you wake up ready for practice, ready to chase the dream. But now you're going to battle a guy that's supposedly undefeated. Like, does that add anything to the hunger for the week for training camp?
Not for me. If anything, it probably adds more pressure to him, worrying about being undefeated. To me, honestly, you just haven't fought somebody like me. That's why you haven't lost yet. I fought plenty of undefeated guys, fought plenty of guys with only one loss in the record. I stick the extra loss on there. But I'm down here at American Top Team. I wake up every day, drag my ass out of bed. I head into work. Come back, eat a little bit of food, rest for a couple hours, drag my ass right back, because that's what I do.
You look at your record, 22-4, and you go back and you beat a lot of named guys, but it's the 4 guys you lost to that actually kind of stand out. Brian Foster, Dan Hornbuckle, Douglas Lima, and then Rosemar Palhares. Like these aren't. It's not like you're losing. You're not slipping on a banana peel and getting caught. You're battling really, really tough characters and coming up short every now and again. You're right. Muhammad has not battled guys like you. He has not been in that range of high level competition. Which one of those? I know it's tough as an athlete to go back and look at your losses, but which one of those 4 losses do you feel like I really could have pulled it together? I just had to do a little bit more and I would have won that fight, and I missed this one opportunity maybe in one of the rounds, and that's what cost me the fight.
Douglas Lima, for sure.
Okay.
That's my only decision loss, and I came out strong. I dropped him in the first 10 seconds of the fight, and then I just kind of I took a step back, and I just sparred him the rest of the fight. I didn't attack him. I didn't try to finish. I was kind of more timid in that fight.
Right.
I allowed him to pull out the decision instead of fighting my game and going after it.
And we've talked about that fight before, you and I, in our previous interviews. And it seemed like to me, and you actually had to explain to me what was going on, because I thought you were trying to save yourself because you hit him and knocked him down, but then you didn't want to punch yourself out. So that's why you kind of backed off after you knocked him down. And then we commented before, I never saw you accelerate, and you're like, yeah, I just never got it together. I just never re-accelerated, and I ended up losing that fight. So it's go ahead.
That's completely all mental, is what I thought about him and how much I respected him going into that fight. I was fearing what he brought to the table instead of making him fear what I bring to the table.
So let's talk about Palhares. What did it feel like? I mean, we see it on TV. We see it, in the videos, but no one can really, you can talk about, I got caught in an armbar by Ronda Rousey, but you can't really explain it until you're caught in it. You're like, wow, this is really what's going on. It's the tightest, the position is the best. Like, there's just no way out. Can you talk us through the Palhares fight? Like, I know it's, like I said, it's kind of tough to get through because it's another loss, but, 4th round, you lasted a long time with him. About a minute or so into it before he finally got cut.
Palhares got me in an inverted heel hook in the first.
Oh, it wasn't the first. Okay. Sorry. It wasn't the first. So let's talk about what was that, what happened right when you got caught into it? Like, where were you like, oh, geez, there's just no way out of it. I have no place to maneuver. Like, could you explain? Is it different than any other heel hook you've ever been in?
My only game plan in that fight was to, come out swinging. And I came across the cage, threw a big right hand. He slipped it, shot it immediately, got me to the ground. And once we hit guard, I just locked him up and waited for him to do something. And he wasn't really trying to do anything. Once I let go of his arms, he wasn't trying to punch. He wasn't trying to elbow. And that's when I realized, I'm like, shit, this guy is just going to rip my leg off, and that's it. That's when I said, screw it. And I started going to my game. I unlocked my guard. I immediately went for a triangle. He slipped that through. I went for an omoplata. And
that's right.
From right there, he sat back to the heel hook. I sat up with him, and I bailed, and I turned twice, I believe, and switched it over to the inverted heel hook. And the second he hit it, it felt like a shotgun just blew off in my knee. And, at that point, there's only one thing you can do is tap and scream.
Yeah.
Just hope he lets go.
And did he let go?
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, I know. It's difficult because you see a technique that somebody pulls over and over again in his fights, and you're like, wow, I really want to, I would like to learn how he does it. I would like to learn how he puts that in there. But then all of a sudden you're like, geez, like he hurts a lot of people doing it. Like he can end a lot of careers with that particular move. It's amazing to watch. It's dynamic. It's explosive. It's almost as good as a one punch knockout. But then you're like, he could have ended Steve Carl's career right there. Like he could have blown his knee out and been just. It's like, do I really want to learn that technique when I could potentially hurt my training partners? Could potentially put out a friend of mine for life? Like I don't want to do that kind of stuff.
And it's on the fighter too, After that injury, I definitely could have just been like, all right, I'm done, and quit. A lot of guys that he's faced have and could just say, all right, I don't want to come back from this. I don't want to rehab this. But yeah, that was definitely sparked my fire a little extra. I wanted to get back in there and make something else happen.
What was the rehab so grueling that towards the end of the rehab, you're like, man, I'm so happy I'm healthy. I can stop going to rehab and I'm just going to be get back in the training camp now? Because it seems like knee rehab can really tear you apart.
No, man, I didn't rehab at all.
Really?
Like after I went in, I had a rehab appointment and everything set up, but by that time I was already so far advanced in what they were doing. I had a lot of muscle atrophy in my leg.
Right.
And they literally just printed off a sheet and like, all right, you need to hold your leg up for 5 seconds, hold it there, do that 5 times. You need to do that a couple times a day to build your muscle. And I was like, how about pistols? Can I do pistols? She's like, what are pistols? I go, one-legged squats, and she's like, no, you can't do those. So I got up and I started doing pistols and she goes, no, you can't do those. I go, but I just did those, I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not going to go to rehab if they're just going to hold me back. So after the appointment, she's like, are you going to, come back? Should we schedule another appointment? I'm like, no.
No, I'm good. That's crazy. That's crazy. Cause like part of the thing with rehab too is also to, step you slowly so that your knee is fully healed. Do you still have any problems with it now at all? Or is it you have no pain, no issues with it at all right now?
Oh, I have issues with that leg. That leg, has had dozens of surgeries from a car accident. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That leg was already garbage.
Oh, I'm sorry. See, I totally forgot about the car accident. I totally forgot it was the same leg. I'm sorry. I completely forgot that. So.
Oh, it's all good. But yeah, it was, it wasn't the worst I faced. So I just, I got back after it. It gave me problems for a long time, but, I did the right things and, the pain's gone away.
Okay.
And, we're back to.
And let's be honest, as an athlete, that's our gauge. If it hurts when I do this, I just won't do that. Well, it hurts when I do this, so I can't do those two things. You're like, well, now it hurts all the time. I got a problem. But if I can work around it, then I'm going to work around it. That's what athletes do. So it's
exactly. And a lot of medical professionals tell you not to do things. They've been telling me I can't do what I do for the last 9 years, and they tell me I'm destroying my body. In the last couple of years, I started asking them. I go, where do you rate me with my peers when I'm 50 or 60? If I'm really destroying my body. And all of them rate me higher than my peers because when something happens, I'm not going to let it affect me. I'm going to find a way of going. I'm not going to lose that range of motion. I'm not going to lose that muscle because I'm going to push through the pain.
And we've talked about that, and that's one of the issues. Like right now, my mom is older, and she's having some health issues. And the thing is that we have to make sure she keeps going, keeps getting out of the house and doing the things she does because that's what they tell you when they get older. You stop moving, then that's when things start to deteriorate. So you have to keep her moving. It's the same thing. You're just doing it earlier. I just refuse it. I refuse to sit on the couch. I refuse to watch TV all day and come through the remote. I'm going to get up and go work out. And as a result, I'm able to come back from a bad knee injury, be able to compete. And then I'm going to be able to keep doing that when you're 50 and 60. So yeah, that's a good rule.
I don't want to be trapped inside my body. So you got to use it.
That's awesome. That's actually, I had no idea. I thought for sure you were going through like deep rehab and 3 times a day and have all this extra health. Nope. Went one time. I was like, I'm good. I'm out of here. I'm doing it on my own.
I mean, rehab was just, working out, rebuilding it, Obviously I wasn't going out throwing 300 pounds on the squat rack, just hitting it. I started, everything I did, I started doing it one-legged, Yeah. I made sure I'd work one leg and then I'd work the other leg because one was stronger than the other. But, it's not the first time I've had to do that.
Man, that's great. That's great. So let's talk about Muhammad. He obviously is a decent enough fighter to be 8-0. No matter, I don't care who you are or what happens. For you to show up 8 times and win 8 times, it's tough, right? Even if it's a bunch of tomato cans, it's still hard to get mentally prepared. We talked about it before with your Diego Lima fight, to be mentally prepared every single time, every single punch, every single second of every single round. So you got to give him a little bit of credit because he is battling 8-0, but you've seen tape on him. How do you break him down as a competitor?
As a competitor, he really lacks the killer instinct, the finish. I don't really know if he's a more of a striker or a wrestler. I think he's more of a striker. He looks to have some really clean stand-up, really technical counter-punching stand-up, but anytime he faces somebody bigger, stronger like me, he's pop-shotting, he's moving, he's circling, and he's running away if you come at him hard. And you can see by his record, he has a lot of decisions. The guy has really good cardio, and he uses his technique and his cardio to point fights.
Yeah. He of his 8 victories, 6 are decisions, and he has 2 TKOs. And his last TKO victory was back in April 2013. So, this is a guy that likes to go on the distance. He likes, and like you said, he enjoys using his cardio and his pitter-pat style, like kind of tapping you, touching you with his punching to get victories. So when you're in training camp, does that change your mentality of like how you have to approach the fight? Because this guy is going to have great cardio. He's able to go the distance. But then you also realize that he's really not looking to really crush you. He's looking to outpoint you. Does that change how you approach training camp for this fight?
No. Just like we just spoke about Douglas Lima, I have to go in there and do my thing. If I don't go in there and do what I'm good at, then I'm not going to win. Right. So if I go in there worried about, burning my cardio out trying to finish him, then, maybe I will get tired and just follow him around for 5 rounds. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fight like the way I fight. And most of my fights don't make it out of the first round.
Right. You're right. And that's the best approach to have.
If they do, I usually win all those fights that go out of the first round. The only one I lost is the Douglas Lima fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything else has been definitely had your way. So, well, Steve, thanks for coming out here. I appreciate it. Have fun down there with the rest of your training camp, and I'll be at home watching you guys on TV at Titan FC 38.
Have fun in training camp. It's loving life down here.
Good for you. All right, Steve. We'll talk again soon, brother. Take care.
All right, man. Thanks for having me on again.